Welcome back to Wainsider, where we dive into the raw, emotional core of WWE's most gripping narratives. Tonight, we're dissecting a moment that has the WWE Universe on edge. Roman Reigns' chilling warning to Bronson Reed after a brutal assault on Raw, sparked by the theft of his signature sneakers. This wasn't just about footwear, it was a deeply personal attack on the tribal chief's legacy, a spark in the ever-burning fire of the Bloodline saga. Let's unravel this moment, tracing the emotional history of the Anoa'i family and building to a climax that could redefine their dynasty. The Bloodline is more than a faction, it's a dynasty built on the Anoa'i family's storied legacy. When Roman Reigns declared himself the tribal chief, he forged an empire of dominance, backed by Paul Heyman's cunning and the loyalty of the Usos. His reign as the undisputed WWE Universal Champion became a symbol of untouchable power, but that power came at a cost. The weight of leadership pressed down on Reigns, and his demand for absolute loyalty created a pressure cooker for those bound to him by blood. The family's unity was a facade, hiding cracks of resentment and ambition. Jey Uso was the first to feel the strain. A tag team legend alongside his twin Jimmy, Jey's journey into the Bloodline was a battle of wills. His early defiance of Reigns, those grueling, "I quit" matches, forced him to submit, but the cost was his individuality. Jey's loyalty was forged in sacrifice, his heart torn between family duty and personal dreams. Every spear, every title defense, was built on Jey's sweat, but the WWE Universe saw the silent resentment in his eyes, a man wrestling with his own identity under the tribal chief's shadow. Please like, share and subscribe for more WWE content. Jimmy Uso, Jey's other half, carried a quieter burden. His role in the Bloodline was one of endurance, his brief rebellion against Reigns quickly crushed. The twins, once an unbreakable unit, found their bond tested by the faction's hierarchy. They were the workhorses, the tag team champions who carried the Bloodline's banner, but their sacrifices were often overshadowed by Reigns' spotlight. The love between brothers was real, but it was strained by the weight of expectation and the constant demand for loyalty. Sami Zayn's arrival brought a new dynamic to the group. An outsider welcomed into the fold, Sami's heart and humor briefly united the Bloodline, but his presence also exposed its fault lines. Jey's initial distrust gave way to a brotherly bond, only for it to shatter when Sami turned on Reigns at Royal Rumble 2023. That betrayal was a wound that never healed, a reminder that loyalty in the Bloodline was fragile. Sami's exit left Jey questioning his place, planting seeds of doubt that would grow over time. Solo Sikoa, the youngest, was the silent enforcer, a man of devastating force but few words. His loyalty to Reigns seemed unshakable, but there was always a flicker of ambition in his eyes. Solo's role as the muscle was clear, but his silence masked a deeper question: was he content to serve, or was he waiting for his moment to rise? The WWE Universe watched him closely, sensing that his quiet strength could one day erupt into rebellion. Family, after all, is both a bond and a battlefield. The Bloodline's dominance was unmatched, with Reigns' championship reign stretching over 1,000 days. But power breeds tension, and the cracks began to show. Jey's departure from the Bloodline in 2023 was a turning point, a declaration that he could no longer live in Reigns' shadow. His YEET movement became a symbol of independence, a way to carve his own path. Yet, the pull of family was strong, and Jey's heart remained tethered to the Bloodline, even as he walked away. The arrival of new challengers added fuel to the fire. Bronson Reed, a towering force aligned with Bron Breakker, emerged as a threat to the Bloodline's reign. Reed's raw power and Breakker's intensity made them a formidable duo, one that saw the Anoa'i family as a target. The WWE Universe sensed a storm brewing, and on the August 11, 2025, episode of Raw, that storm broke. The stage was set for a clash that would shake the foundations of the Bloodline's legacy. The main event saw Reigns and Jey Uso, reunited under tense circumstances, facing Reed and Breakker in a tag team match. The chemistry between Reigns and Jey was undeniable, but the cracks in their alliance were evident. The match was a brutal affair, with Reed's size and Breakker's speed pushing the Bloodline to their limits. The bell rang, but the real drama was yet to come. The WWE Universe held its breath, unaware of the chaos about to unfold. In a shocking climax, Bronson Reed and Bron Breakker launched a vicious post-match assault. As Reigns and Jey stood in the ring, battered but defiant, Breakker's spear sent them crashing through the barricade. But it was Reed's next move that stunned the crowd. In a calculated act of humiliation, he stripped Reigns of his signature Jordan Spizik sneakers, holding them aloft like a trophy. The WWE Universe gasped, and social media erupted with posts on X calling it the ultimate disrespect. The attack wasn't just physical, it was a dagger to the heart of the Tribal Chief's persona. The sneaker theft was more than a stunt, it was a power play. As Dave LaGreca noted on Busted Open Radio, taking Reigns' sneakers was a symbolic act of dominance, a way to strip the Tribal Chief of his carefully crafted image. For Reigns, whose aura relied on every detail, from his entrance to his attire, this was a personal violation. The WWE Universe watched as the untouchable champion was humbled, his legacy tarnished in a single moment. The emotional aftermath was raw and visceral. Reigns, a man who had built his empire on invincibility, was shaken. The sneakers were more than fashion, they were a symbol of his identity, a piece of the Tribal Chief's armor. Jay, standing by his cousin, felt the weight of the attack, his loyalty to Reigns clashing with the pain of seeing their family disrespected. The WWE Universe felt the sting, too, as posts on X reflected a mix of shock and outrage at Reed's audacity. Backstage, the whispers were electric. Sources close to WWE, as reported by PW Insider, suggested that this moment was a deliberate move by Triple H to escalate the stakes for SummerSlam 2025. The attack was designed to expose Reigns' vulnerabilities, to show that the Tribal Chief was not untouchable. Reed's actions, backed by Breakker and aligned with Seth Rollins' faction, were a declaration of war, a sign that the Bloodline's grip on WWE was slipping. The chilling warning came later in the night. Reigns, battered but unbowed, confronted Reed backstage in a moment captured on Raw. His words, as recounted by Wrestling Observer, were laced with ice-cold fury. "You took my sneakers, but you'll never take my legacy." The warning was a promise of retribution, a vow to reclaim what was stolen. The WWE Universe felt the weight of his words, a reminder that the Tribal Chief was down but not out. The confrontation was a turning point, a moment that crystallized the stakes for the Bloodline. Reigns' warning wasn't just about sneakers, it was about the Anoa'i family's pride. Jay's presence at his side was a testament to their shared history, but it also highlighted the fragility of their bond. The attack had exposed the cracks in the Bloodline, and Reed's actions were a challenge to their very identity. The WWE Universe was left on edge, waiting for the fallout. Backstage rumors, as cited by Fightful Select, painted a picture of a creative team pushing the boundaries of this storyline. Some writers saw Reed's attack as a way to elevate him as a main event threat, while others argued for Reigns to reclaim his dominance. The uncertainty added to the drama, as the WWE Universe speculated about the roles of Jimmy Uso and Solo Sikoa. Would Jimmy return to bolster the Bloodline, or would Solo's own ambitions further fracture the family? The implications for SummerSlam 2025 are massive. Reigns and Jay's tag team victory over Reed and Breakker, as reported by Bleacher Report, was a small triumph, but the sneaker theft overshadowed it. Reed's alignment with Rollins' faction, as hinted by Wrestling Inc., suggests a larger war looming. The MFT, led by Solo Sikoa, could also play a role, complicating the family dynamic further. The WWE Universe is left wondering if Reigns can rally or if this is the beginning of the end. The emotional core of this moment lies in the fractured bonds of family. Reigns' warning to Reed was a stand for the empire he built, but it was also a cry for respect. Jay's loyalty, tested by years of sacrifice, was a beacon of hope, but the attack exposed the vulnerability of their unity. The sneakers, a seemingly trivial detail, became a symbol of everything the Bloodline stands for: pride, power, and the constant fight to hold on to both. The Anoa'i family's legacy is one of unparalleled influence, from Yokozuna to The Rock to Roman Reigns. But that legacy comes with a cost. The attack by Reed was a mirror to the internal struggles of the Bloodline, a reminder that power fractures even the strongest bonds. Reigns' warning was a plea to protect the family's name, but it was also a challenge to prove who truly carries it. The WWE Universe watches, breathless, as this saga unfolds. The sneaker theft and Reigns' response are a microcosm of the Bloodline's history, a clash of pride, power, and pain. The assault was a calculated move to humiliate the Tribal Chief, but his warning showed his resilience. Jay's loyalty, Reed's audacity, and the looming shadow of Solo's MFT are all threads in a tapestry that is both beautiful and broken. The WWE Universe feels the weight of this moment, a family they've cheered for years now facing a new threat. The backstage confrontation was a turning point, a moment that exposed the cracks in the Bloodline's foundation. Reigns' chilling words to Reed were a declaration of war, but they were also an acknowledgement of vulnerability. The attack by Reed and Breakker was a sign that the Tribal Chief's empire is under siege, not just from outside forces but from within the family itself. The war for the Anoa'i legacy is heating up, and the stakes have never been higher. As we look to the future, the question looms, can the Bloodline survive this assault? Reigns' warning was a rallying cry, but it was also a cry of pain. The theft of his sneakers exposed the fragility of the empire he's fought to hold together, and Jay's loyalty hangs by a thread. Reed's actions, backed by a growing coalition, represent a new challenge to the Anoa'i family's dominance. The WWE Universe is caught in the middle, torn between the Tribal Chief and the rising tide of rebellion. This moment is about more than stolen sneakers, it's about the soul of the Bloodline. Reigns' warning to Reed was a defense of his legacy, but it was also a plea for family. The attack, like the betrayals of Sami and Solo before it, is a reminder that power fractures even the strongest bonds. The WWE Universe watches, hearts heavy, as the Anoa'i family's story takes a darker turn. The legacy they've built is at stake, and every move is a gamble. In the end, this is about blood, trust, and the sting of betrayal. Roman Reigns' chilling warning to Bronson Reed was a stand for the family he's fought for, but it was also a confrontation with its breaking point. The Bloodline's saga is one of triumph and tragedy, of love and loss, and this moment on Raw was a stark reminder of that. As we close, let's reflect on the cost of broken trust, the pain of betrayal, and the enduring power of blood. Thanks for joining us on Wainsider. Until next time, keep your eyes on the ring, because the Bloodline's war is far from over.